Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Derry Cast. Well, we'll be casting our thoughts on it. Welcome to Derry. We are on episode cuatro, and it's number 4. And this one was fascinating. Before we dive in, we must first introduce Mr. Danny Martinez. How are you doing, Mr. Floating?
I'm good. Yeah, just floating. Um, uh, I don't know what to say about this show anymore. It's getting kind of weird.
It's getting a little weird. This is getting weird. It's called the Great Swirling Apparatus of Our Planet's Function. Who comes up with these titles? I don't know. But basically, I'm going to call it The Eyes Have It because that was an eye-popping episode.
Oh God, yeah.
Which they featured the best special effects that has ever been featured in the history of special effects. So you've been warned, James Cameron. Avatar, Blood and Ash, or whatever it's called, is looking a
Pirates of
little
the Caribbean.
2D. Pirates of the Caribbean-ish. Come on, you're looking pixelated. So diving into this episode, we kind of immediately pick up from the photographs of the kids taking pictures of it to they now present it to the sheriff, the police, and they don't see it at all.
Yeah.
There is no it there, which again explains how adults cannot see the it until the it maybe reveals itself to them. You know, the parents have been kind of under, as you would say, a curse where they just can't recognize like simple things, the facts of
Yeah.
life. So that was a little bit disappointing. Did you think that they would get somewhere with these pictures?
No, I saw it coming a mile away. Either the cops are gonna brush it off as some like because I know it takes place in what is it, the 50s, 40s, I don't know, 60s. Whatever. Whatever. I don't care. But the olden days. But like they don't have Photoshop back then, so they're not gonna assume Photoshop. But I thought the cops were either gonna dismiss it as something fake that the kids did somehow, or they weren't gonna see it. So I saw it coming, and it was just no surprise whatsoever.
That's just saying. Well, speaking of it that you saw coming, we have the origins. We're getting there to it. It has been here for many centuries. It started off with the Native Americans kind of discovering it and the hell he rained upon them. And then, of course, we had the good old-fashioned settlers, or I like to call them the gentrifiers,
Of course, they're gonna
the
fuck things up.
colonizers. They just came and made it worse, as always. So, what did you think about the very accurate history of both Pennywise and colonizers?
uh, so this is where things get difficult for someone
Okay.
who likes or sorry, for someone who already knows the lore of like it and a lot of Stephen King's stuff. Like I don't know, I'm not like deep into it, but I know the basics. And because I already knew everything that's going on, I wasn't like wowed. I wasn't like, okay, like this is cool. My God, we're gonna learn some stuff. I think this was a better moment for people who's never dived into those things like other like fans have. So I'm sure like it was a great moment for them to be like, oh, so this is where Pennywise comes from, or at least this is how he arrives. And his little prison and the shards and all that stuff. But I was just like, okay, all right, they're touching on it a little bit. It was a nice moment. You get to learn a little bit more of the lore and all that. So I guess just pleasantly amused.
I can see that, but it does for me. It explained a lot of things. It explains why Penny is only stuck in Derry. He's not
Yes.
reigning terror in like New York. That would be
Yeah.
a lot of fun. Oh my God, that would be so much fun. Anyway, so he's not reigning terror in other places. And it explained also that there is a way to stop Penny. He is a supernatural force, but at the same time, he can be stopped. So I did like that aspect. I think the shards, as you explained, is part of the lore. So that is a very important story that I think weaves into this series. Now, there's a whole other explanation as to, does the shards like kill him completely, or does it stop him? And obviously, it doesn't kill him completely, because we do know this is a prequel to the It movies. So it's just, that is also where I feel that it writes itself into a box,
A corner,
because
yeah.
we already know that he gets freed again. So that's what's kind of frustrating about this for me.
Well, I thought that's exactly what I thought too, because knowing the movies, you know that he's not only still alive, but he's still stuck in Derry. Like he's not expanding in any sense. He's still in Derry being a menace. So it's like, you know, that they either didn't move the shards to keep him in the vicinity, like maybe the military failed in finding these things, or maybe they got to it, but then they were put back. So it's just like it's a bit like just ruins the whole potential, because we already kind of know what happens.
I completely agree with that aspect. That is one of the biggest problems that I think that this has. And then also, my thing is, it creates like Penny, if you look at it, he's after these kids or whomever to eat them. And then what? And I kind of wish that this episode would have dived in a bit more as to what is his purpose. Is that just literally his purpose? Is to like, every 27 years I'm going to start eating people and then go back to sleep?
Mm-hmm.
To me, then I'm starting to wonder itself, Stephen King, is his villain not really villainous enough?
Oh,
Because
they're
it's like,
his siblings are more villainous than him. You could believe that.
oh, okay, okay. So, kind of then diving in with, we did have some weird stuff with the kids again, especially when it came to Patty and the slug incident with her eyes.
That was weird.
What were your? It was a bit weird this episode. I thought, you know what made me really excited? I thought we was gonna get some Carrie, because remember how the patty cakes were like, "Did you talk to her? Did you talk to her?"
Mm-hmm.
Remember when with Marge, they were
Mm-hmm.
trying to trap her, and I was like, "This is gonna be like a Carrie incident." And what happens if Marge is the secret to this? You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? And she is able to unlock some kind of power within her once this prank pops off.
Mm-hmm.
And it never happened. But instead we got eyes. So, and then of course poor Lily being stuck in the whole thing.
Oh,
What were your thoughts? What were your thoughts? Lily in general just they just don't like Lily. It seems like the writers don't like her, the town doesn't like her.
the
I
writers
think
don't
she's
like
like a real, they just don't like her. It's a great representative of like how women are not believed and instead thrown into like the crazy hospital
her.
place
Mm-hmm.
because, oh, you must be going crazy. And
Either
it's
you
like,
don't conform, or you're crazy.
right. And you goes all the way back to her father died in an accident, and somehow you're treating this girl like she's the one who's the killer.
Yeah.
And she's a child. So yeah, what are your thoughts on the treatment of Lily? Because they threatened to throw her right back into the crazy place, which was crazy in
um
itself.
I mean, I guess the whole point in the writing for her and what she's going through is it's supposed to elicit sympathy for her, and that's exactly what I feel. I feel sorry for her for what she's going through. Nobody believes her, and now she's gonna be accused of stabbing this poor girl in the eye, and I I know it's just the writing. This is just the way the story is supposed to go, but I also find it kind of stupid that she could be blamed for this when it's not like what's her name died. She's just there screaming, writhing in pain, right? So I would hope that, when she gets to the hospital or something, she can say, "Oh, Lily didn't attack me. Like it wasn't her." But we all know that's not going to be the case. Like that's just because of convenient writing and everything. So if she had died, that's a different story. Then Lily could be blamed and there's no witnesses or anything. And then you can continue on with this, the crazy girl theory. But like she's alive. So I just found it very strange, or I'll find it very strange if this continues on of this whole like witch burning or witch hunt, I should say, with Lily. If what's her name? Oh my god, why am I blanking on her name? The one with the eyes. You just said it.
I'm muted. Marge, sorry.
Marge, yeah. Like if she doesn't say anything, then that's just it's bad writing. Come on, like she's alive. She's alive. She's in pain. She's scared. Fine, 100% granted. But she hallucinated freaking snail eyes and stuff like that. She's not gonna blame Lily for that. So what's going on?
What are your thoughts on the actual eyes? Penny hates kids because that's what
It was
this
dumb.
mean.
It was stupid. It was dumb. It was stupid. Again with the bad CGI. It looks silly. It looked goofy. It wasn't supposed to be. It didn't feel scary. It didn't feel tenseful. It feels silly. That's how it felt the entire time. I guess the only part that felt tenseful was when she was trying to chop him off, and then she gets hurt and stuff. It was a bit cool, a bit gory, a bit of a good moment right there. But that whole part of her flailing it was dumb. It was really dumb.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. And this is kind of, I think it's kind of also, but what I did like is it kind of shows that Penny is using these kids' insecurities against them. He hates kids. He truly.
But did we really get an insecurity of her like not liking snails like that?
Like the glasses, I would probably assume with her sight and her vision. So then let's chop up some eyes. And here's the thing: I also understand the kids would make fun and be like, "Oh, she's a serial killer. Look at what she's doing." But the adults are just so incompetent here, and I feel like using the phrase like, "Oh, well, they're cursed," is just so convenient. Which is kind of why I appreciate Ingrid, because she was the one who listened to Lily. Yeah. And while she's not out there telling her everything of what to do, she was an ear that was like, "Hey, I'm here for you." Mm-hmm. And also it has to go all back to the black mom, because she's all like, "What's going on?" She's all up in the business compared to the other parents.
No, I mean, in a sense, yes, but not in the way that I don't know if you're making it sound up to be like she's suspicious about what's going on in Derry. I don't think she is. I think she's just suspicious about the cops incarcerating the wrong man because he's just convenient and he's black. I think that's like it. Like she's like a freedom fighter. Like, so she sees something wrong going on, so she's trying to help this guy out. But I don't think she has any suspicion of like the town being weird or like anything supernatural going on or something like that.
See, this is where I disagree, because yes, you have the whole thing of where Charlotte is trying to get the father released from prison because everything that they're doing is kind of illegal at this point. But remember, she was the only one who stopped that fight in the middle of the street. And it wasn't like, "Oh, we're just stopping a fight." She's able to see how everyone's just looking at it like she's the problem. And everyone is, and then you have that JFK line from the first episode. "I don't like it. Blame JFK. We're here." Right? And then you can kind of make the argument with the butcher, which at first she thought he was a little racist, but he wasn't. And also, maybe it's just me, when you are extremely too nice, certain red flags start to pop up.
I still don't think that's a suspicion for like something weird in the town when it comes to like something supernatural, because for her and her experiences in the South, automatically with all the trauma and all the stuff she went through and everything that she's fought for, because apparently like she led a lot of not riots, not the word I'm looking for, movements, right? Movements and stuff like that. I would think her first knee-jerk reaction is just racism, just straight up racism. That's all it is. So I don't think she thinks anything supernatural of it. I'm sure she notices all that stuff, but I'm sure she's just chalking it up to like, these people are acting weird around me because I'm the new black girl.
Yeah, that does kind of make sense. I guess she is so preoccupied with getting that man free.
Yeah.
That you could make the argument she's not really listening to Will and what he's saying. because she is, and in that, that is kind of her background of making sure that the rights are civil, but also
Mhm.
it's just kind of how the parents are focused on something else instead.
Mhm.
So yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that. What did you think? Will had a big kind of fishing moment with his dad and the fish, where he saw his dad, like the dead dad, the face of
Yeah.
his father. Was that at least good when it came to intensity? Because the whole time it was like I knew something was going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that was extremely predictable. Even the whole pulling him down, you knew something was going to be in the water. Uh, Honestly, I was expecting something stupid like a fish with a clown face or something like that. Like that would have been, oh, I would have shut off the TV at that point. But it was a quick moment again with the CGI, but it wasn't as bad because it was quick, and it was kind of, I guess you could say, blurry in a sense because it was underwater. So I like that moment better than the snail eye thing because just the way it was presented.
I completely agree with that aspect as well. I thought that it was too like, oh, something is going to happen. We know it's going to happen, and here comes the music to kind of
Yeah.
cue in something happening. I thought we was going to get some kind of giant killer fish that's like
Yeah.
chasing him around in the water. I think that would have been more interesting, honestly,
No.
than what we got. But I guess
No.
no, it's like a big old like remember the Mario fish that would pop out.
No, yes, I do. Please, no. Like, stop giving these people ideas because they'll do that in the next season, probably.
Um, yeah, but I kind of I liked it, but I also didn't like it at all. But the
Okay.
fact that he saw his father dead,
Hmm.
so but could it be foreshadowing? Someone got to die. A parent has not died, just
Yeah.
some children. So we gotta start killing
We
off the adults.
do we
I
know
don't
that he
remember.
he can possibly die? Because story wise, you know who's safe and who's not already, or
Yeah,
some of the
storyline wise.
characters, anyways.
Well, no, you're right because no, I'm getting my black people confused. Wait, no. He's the one who ends up being the angry grandfather
Yes. Yeah.
in
So he's
2017.
safe.
Ugh, and that's another thing. This is why I really wish we had fresh characters. There is
Hmm.
no reason for it to bleed into the other movies. Because if you're saying every 27 years you're being haunted, why can't you just, pay somebody completely different? We don't need to know how Will's dad, why he's in the angry and shooting sheep in the beginning of the
Uh,
movie.
and yeah, and that's the problem with this season. And it for those that are watching and thinking the same thing that we are, I would hope that you would still hopefully give the other seasons a chance because at the very least, the other seasons, because they go backwards in time, we're going to be less familiar with those characters. So now we're going to wonder more who's going to die, who's safe and who's not. Unless it's maybe like they do this again and they write up more descendants of who we're watching already, which I think would be dumb. Like you need to stop
Rose
doing
as a
that.
child.
Like Rose is a child, or her mother, or her grandmother. Like, do not do that. Write original characters because the stakes aren't going to be as high if we know that they survive.
Then, kind of going back a little bit when we spoke to the Native Americans, Taniel, which is not Daniel, but Taniel knows kind of where the shards are because he's been given the kind of like they made them memorize the history and the lore of the it,
Yeah.
and he knows about the
The
shards, which is
Galoo. The Galoo.
the glue. Is that from the book? Is that what they call it? Do
I
you
have
know?
no idea. I've never heard that. No, I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, the glue, um, he knows where they're at. And he is basically used as a tool. I thought it would be Rose would have more of a shining moment where it's like we're gonna have to interrogate her, and
Yeah.
she's looking at the guy like, "What are you doing?" And because they have so much history. But
Yeah.
no, I guess it's grandson, great grandson, person in the tribe.
Hmm.
But I will say this, even though there's no words, the scene between Dick and Daniel was fascinating. It was a psychiatric interrogation all up in the minds where he went through his memory and he's feeling on the brains, and that's how he's able to find out where the shards are. And it's a lot of
that was very weird mannerisms, by the way, that he was doing. Like he was kind of just like doing this, like something out of Dragon Ball, and then he kind of just goes like this and just moving his hand around his head. I was just like, what are you doing, dude? Is that necessary?
I thought it was like a visual. It's kind of like X-Men, because you never just see something go flying across the room. They always have to use their hands.
We got to use their hands. Yeah, but then remember with the boys. I mean, not the boys. Sorry, Gen V. Remember when what's his name was like, what's with the hands? Like, you don't have to use your hands. You're just using your mind. What are you doing?
Exactly. It's kind of the same thing with capes. Remember when we got with the Incredibles? Don't wear a cape.
You don't need capes.
You don't need capes. You can already fly. So yeah, we got this.
Yeah.
Which like makes a really great image cinematography, like the photograph wise.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
What's going on here? But we don't really need it. But it's cute. It's a nice visual. But how did you like that? See, I thought that was, to me, the guy who plays Dick is an incredible actor. Chops.
Mm-hmm.
He is herbaceous. I just love him. He's the only reason why for me to keep watching him and the babies. Other than that, I have no reason to continue. The babies, the kids.
No. I agree. I enjoy it more because of Halloran and the other military. No, not the babies. The kids are okay. The kids are okay stuff. They're used for more of sympathy and for like a sense of innocence in the show and stuff like that. But it's been done a million times. We've seen Stranger Things a million times. We've seen E.T., Super 8. Like a lot of movies have done that kind of stuff. So it's just like, and not to say I don't love them. I'm not saying they're bad in any sense. I'm just saying like what I'm gravitating towards the most in this show is Halloran and who's the other guy? Jesus Christ. I'm really bad with names.
Dick?
The other
Dick is Halloran.
No, Dick is Halloran. The other military guy.
Will's dad. Leroy. Oh, Black Jesus.
I memorized them by like last name, but anyways, they're the two that I'm gravitating towards for this show. Like their story, like their own personal story, and the story that they're unfolding in Derry and stuff like that. That's what I'm enjoying the most. With the scene with Halloran messing with Daniel, that was very cool. You could see more of his powers. I'm really interested now because of that scene, more on his development of that power. Like, how did he find out about it? How did he develop it? Did he practice it? Did people think he was crazy, or did his parents know about it and they kind of nurtured him with it? I want to know now. I want to know more about that. But it was a good scene, and it was good, obviously, backstory on how Pennywise ended up, or the Galoo ended up there.
I wish we'd have gotten kind of it, and maybe that's where we'll get the spinoff of the. I'm trying to not say stuff. Maybe that is how we'll get more of an origin of him crash landing. Wait, random thought. Do you think we should get a season solely from Pennywise's perspective?
No.
No?
And that's only because me personally, I don't like following a villain's origin story. It's kind of like I enjoy, for example, I don't want to know the backstory of the Joker. I want him to be just a maniacal, crazy, psychotic killer who nobody knows about. Or, for example, when Michael Myers first came out back in the day, John Carpenter and all that, Michael Myers was just a menace, and nobody really knew. There's a lot of like different lore. There's the stuff that was retconned. There's a lot of changes. Some people thought he was supernatural. Some people thought he was a regular man. Nobody really had anything official. And then Rob Zombie does his version of Michael Myers, and you get to see him grow up as a child and also raised in the asylum. I didn't enjoy that because you humanize him. I don't want my killer to be humanized. So it's the same sense as this. I don't want to learn deeper lore of Pennywise through Pennywise. I know he's not a human, but if you get what I'm saying, I don't want him humanized in any sense. I want him to be just a maniacal, godlike being.
There was a movie called Strange Darling that was told entirely through the killer's perspective. And it wasn't even about humanizing. It was literally, let's spend a day in the life of a serial killer as he killed. So that is kind of like what I'm wondering. Like, you can do it without being sympathetic towards Pennywise. Just like his thought of killing these kids in the process of pickle
I just want things to be more of a mystery now. Not really.
You're watching the wrong show for that.
Are you trying to tell me something?
I'm trying to tell you something without telling you.
I mean, but here's the thing though, like you can watch the It movies and you still won't know anything about it, and then you can leave it at that, and that's great. So if you're watching Derry because you are curious about more of the origin stuff, sure, you'll get more origin for Pennywise, but you're not going to get the whole entire picture. There will either be holes involved or things that are omitted, and that still leaves an air of mystery for the character. But if you follow the character itself, you know, let's say for example you see Pennywise as a child, you know, talking to his father, which he does have a father, you know, it's weird. It's just like, I don't know, I don't need to see his motivations, I don't need to see how he ended up there, I don't need to see his hunting habits and things like that. I want it to be more mysterious. And if you want to look for that stuff, go look for that stuff, but it doesn't have to be in my media.
Do know a bit more about where Penny is at, where he lives. So you're like, just leave it at that information. Yeah. We don't need to know more. So the more that he kills, my understanding is the more stronger that he gets.
Right.
Which is why he's able to break out of the initial shards that the Native Americans place around. Because then when the white people start coming, that's when Penny's like, aha, and starts killing even more.
No.
No. Am I remembering that?
No, yeah. He was weak. He broke out of the thing, but he was weak where he couldn't leave on his own, period. It had nothing to do with the shards. The shards were still in one place in one piece. So when the colonizers came in, they were eaten, and that made him strong enough to expand his hunting area. And that's when the Native Americans were like, well, shit, we need to cage him. That's when they used the shards to kind of like keep it a radius.
Okay, because my thing is, once the white people arrive to remove the shards, because they're gonna do that. That's the whole point of why Dick is there, to find the shards. Which again, like, why does it make any sense? Well, we'll talk about that later on, because it gets crazier. To remove the shards will then not only free Pennywise, but it could make him stronger. The thing is that the Colonel doesn't understand or wants to understand this.
Right.
Because he thinks, like all things that are not of Caucasian descent, that they can be controlled and managed. And that should be fun. So I want a showdown between those two. That should be really interesting there.
He also hinted actually that they're also aware of his hibernation habits. So he mentioned, he's just like, yeah, we need to find him before he goes underground again, or he said goes to sleep. I can't remember exactly, but he said, you know, he's gonna be gone, so we don't have much time. So I want to know, and I'm sure they're gonna mention this in like maybe either later in the season or just in a later in this season or later in other seasons. They're going to show, I guess, the military learning for the first time and interested in Pennywise and learning these little intricate things like the 23 years and the fear
27.
powers and all that stuff. Sorry, 27. 23, I'm thinking of Jeepers Creepers.
23. Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah, Jeepers Creepers is 23. Every 23 seasons for 23 days.
Okay, Jeepers Creepers. How did you get those creepers? But yes. So now that we have one of the things that I'm fascinated with when it comes to Dick is that he's being used as a tool. And he's still allowing himself to be used as a tool, even though he knows that it's not going to be for good. What is popping off there? Like, sir, what are we doing? Lead them astray. Don't you've seen what happens when places and things get colonized?
He's a good soldier.
He's a good, I don't like that. I don't. But yeah, so now that we know that Pennywise lives in this little well house, which is like this boarded up underground abandoned house facility, which could be interesting. So that's his little habitat. I thought it was a sewer system, but he lives in that little house. It is. But I'm wondering if we get to now go to his house and see what's popping.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. And then we get a big comfort of what's going on. But one of the big things that obviously was fascinating to me is the guy who was accused of killing those babes, those little children, has an alibi that he just cannot say. He was with a white, and he was with a white woman.
Married one.
A married white woman. Child. And Will's father, as we all know, he is single and clearly ready to mingle. But come on now. 1960s? This is not the Lovings. What were your thoughts on a white?
Immediately I'm like, ooh, you're in trouble no matter what. So I was like, yep, I completely understand. I would not say a thing. You put yourself in a corner there, bud. I'm sorry. Like I can't do nothing for you.
Yep. I immediately, once he kept saying, I can't give you the alibi, I can't tell you where it was at, I was like, Lord, please don't let me be with a white woman. And here goes Hank. I was with a white woman. But yeah, he's cursed no matter what. So off the Shawshank, indeed, for him. He's never coming out now. I think that's just say you killed those kids. It'd be less a crime. But yeah, that is interesting there. So Charlotte is kind of like in shock, but she's still like championing him to be free. It is a crime, but technically not a crime. In love, Jonathan Majors. So sorry.
Oh jeez.
That's just kind of what I thought. But yeah, that seems to be like the really big parts of this episode. What were your thoughts just overall in general? Did it make you want to tune in to the next season? Because
I'm still enjoying the story overall. It has its moments where it is a bit dumb or it's a bit irrelevant or I should say just not as suspenseful because we already know the outcome. That's the problem with like prequel TV shows or movies. You kind of know the outcome of certain things, so it kind of ruins it. But overall, I'm still enjoying the story. You know how I feel about the CGI, though. I still think that CGI is bad.
It's award-winning.
Andy Muschietti, I know. I'm so sorry. You got this reputation of just bad CGI after The Flash, and the Flash. The Flash was just a god awful movie with the CGI, and you had gotten so much criticism over it. I would have thought you would have learned from it, and you're not. So I'm sorry, man. The CGI is it's not good. It's not great. You're not using it. How do you say conservatively? Smartly. Goodly.
Goodly.
Yeah. So,
just like using it in general.
But the acting's great, the story's great, everybody's charming, all the characters are just really, really good. It's still worth watching. If you could look past the CGI, it's still definitely worth watching.
I think there might be some hope that the kids could be breaking through. So Will's dad's name is Leroy. And so here's the thing. Remember the conversation between Dick and Leroy? It was like black men bonding. And he was like, what's going on out there? Even, Dick, I thought that with The Shining, he would at least know some things that, because of his powers. He doesn't know anything. But the point is that it was the father of was it Leroy? He was listening to his son, and his son kept saying, there's something weird that's going on with this town. And the fact that Leroy could then reiterate that to Dick makes me think that somehow he is going to listen to his son more. Even when it came to the water scene, no, you're like, no.
No. I was going to say I completely agree, because to piggyback on that, he can see the red balloons. So I think something about his whole fear thing in his head, or whatever trauma he got in his head, I think it's also affecting the fact that he's not affected by the town the same way.
There you go. So somehow he is able to, he might be the breakthrough to get to the kids, and that way it could help that way. So there is some hope. There is some kind of promise. And now we just got to know why he's always so evil and mean. And why he doesn't leave.
Wait, who are we talking about?
Wait, who are we talking about? I was
Hanlon?
talking about Leroy.
Yeah, Hanlon.
Leroy. Yeah. Well, Hanlon is, from my understanding, he's the one who's the angry old man who shoots the sheep in the head.
I mean, I don't know why he would just leave. Like, he has no fear in his head, literally. So he's looking into it.
Dick doesn't have any fear.
No, it's Hanlon.
Dick is the one with the Shining.
Yes. Halloran? Dick Halloran is the one with the Shining. Hanlon's the one with no fear. He's the one with the head trauma.
My own self?
Yes, he's the one with the head trauma.
I thought that Dick had head trauma, and now he has Shining.
No.
So then the career, yeah. Black people don't look alike at all. I'm joking. I'm getting everyone's info.
She said that, not me.
Oh, please. You said a lot worse.
Shut up.
See, how you trying to shut me up? But no. See, I can say that because I'm black. Boom, boom. So, okay. So, see, they're going to have to team up. Because I see head trauma and Shining, they have to team up. So, if head trauma has no fear, he can protect Shining.
Yeah.
Because the thing with the Shining is he does have a fear.
Yes.
And it does, it'll explain itself. So he does have a fear. So then maybe, I don't know how it works. If they need to just never leave each other's side.
I'm sure my prediction is they're going to be the heroes of the season.
2 black men.
Yeah.
Yeah. So take that, Josh Whedon.
Oh, jeez.
I dug in deep for that one.
Yeah, you did.
That went there. All there. So there we go. We have 2 black people saving the day in the 1960s, as always, that we have to do in 1960s and even now. So yeah, I guess that would be our thoughts for the episode 4, which was kind of okay. For me, it was okay.
Yeah, same.
Give me more meat. I need more story.
Yeah.
And what's up with Pennywise? We need to see Penny. It would be nice now.
We don't need to have scares in every season. And yeah, it would be nice to see Penny.
We see him. Don't worry. He'll pop up. Okay. So then I guess that's everything. So I have been your host, Dana, speaking to Mr. Floating, because he's just floating on by each episode. And we will talk to you next time. Exercise time. Episode 5. I don't know what that's time. So,
take notes, Josh Whedon.
Peace out. Take notes, Josh Whedon. 2 black heroes. Oh, is it off? Nope.
No.
Let's do this. Good Lord. No, it just changed the bottom. Wait, end? Did it end? No.